how can I make Canadians see the true value that my business provides? Click here the subscribe button, set up the alert, and if the content of this video is useful for you, let us know by clicking the like button. One thing to remember, right, for people that have these doubts is like, well, Canadians don't seem to be getting the full value that I provide, and they're knocking on doors, and people seem not to be convinced, not to be paying attention. One very important thing to remember, perhaps the first important thing to remember in Canada, especially for people that were born and raised in an emerging country, they don't see things the same way necessarily because the experiences from back home are from a very different business environment. In Canada, decisions about making a purchase, right, from your business, buying a product or service that you sell, very often these will be a multi-dimensional and a multi-people decision, meaning it's not just that person that you met, that you connected very well, that is going to make the decision to buy. Like typically the decision is made by different people or with different things in mind. So there are several dimensions and in many cases, several people involved. So every request that you get from a potential client, people seem to think that, oh, they're just making excuses. They don't want to buy from us. They keep asking stuff that have nothing to do with the value that I deliver. They seem to be trying to find excuses not to buy. I see it differently. I see perhaps that what's happening is that people are requesting things for a reason that we, from the outside, trying to sell to them, we don't understand. So that indicates to me that in many cases, there is a lack of understanding of how these buying decisions are made by the person that I'm trying to sell to. So if somebody will buy from me, I need to understand how their thinking process goes so I can make it easier for them to decide to buy. It's not about how perfect and what a killer presentation that I have. It's not like a convincing process. I'm not going to be bringing them to the conclusion to buy from me after they go through my presentation. We need to have some motivation there already. And in many cases, it's by different people. Right? Different people in an organization may be interested to buy or not buy from us for different reasons. So it's really important not to be focusing also just on one person, because that may be the wrong person, may not even be the most powerful person for that decision, may not be the only one. It's important to understand who are these other decision makers or the decision influencers, people that have a say in a decision. And it's super important to understand which are all these multiple factors that are making into the decision on the other side. And in many cases, we may even have an idea of the factors, but very often we misunderstand or we misallocate the weight. Say, oh, yeah, there's this factor, but this will factor in as 10% of the decision. 80% will be because of this. Maybe not. Maybe not. We really need to confirm, understand that with the other side. What I see that really works in Canada is when we start a sales process, it will start it from a place of curiosity and trying to achieve understanding. So instead of asking ourselves why they are not buying, we can ask what would have to be true for them to buy? Because then we're not in an opposing situation. It's like, oh, well, how come you're not buying, right? It's almost like you're wrong, let me show you why you're wrong. Versus, what would have to be true for you to make this decision to buy? If we ask that question, what would have to be true, we remove a bit of the tension and we put them in the driver's seat to start to tell us what are the things that are important to them. And when we ask this type of question, what would have to be true for you to make this decision and go ahead? We better take very detailed notes because they're giving us nuggets of information that are really important. All these breadcrumbs that they're dropping along the way help us paint the picture of what it is that is missing in our approach so that we learn, adjust, and then we go with a much better probability of success because now we're doing everything that we should be doing, taking into consideration all the multiple factors, all the multiple people. So we have to do the homework and deliver, if it's time to deliver a presentation, a sales pitch, has to be very focused on how we can deliver on those things that have to be true for them to buy from us. If for whatever reason they don't buy from us, let's ask for feedback and repeat this process with the next people, and maybe sometimes coming back to the same people after some time, right? There is a lot of learning. It's an interactive process where we need to be getting the input from people who are not making the decision. You see how that's very different from that initial approach, which is, how come they don't see value in what I do? How can I convince them, right? So to help clients to see the true value that your business provides, you can come on board, for example, of our platform here, Your Business in Canada, where we'll guide you through this process. And you're going to be doing that together with a group of other like-minded business people, in many cases, immigrant entrepreneurs as well, right? So why do we focus on things that are not important? That's a question we keep asking ourselves, because we made a proposal and suddenly the other side comes with things that don't seem to be important. For example, well, the core of my product is perfect, but they're focusing too much on the packaging or in the user interface, or why they're focusing on some bureaucratic box ticking exercise. You see how these type of questions put us in an antagonistic situation against them, seeing like, okay, they're putting up barriers. How do I break through the barriers? It doesn't have to be this way. It can be from a place of understanding. Oh, this is important for you because the packaging, you're going to do this when it arrives at the warehouse. Oh, your user interface is important then because you want that kind of experience, or the branding or whatever, right? Or the box ticking is important because there is this whole compliance function in your company that needs to make sure that every supplier is that, because otherwise you lose a certain type of certification. There are usually good reasons for things and for requests. Another example would be like, I see a lot people having unfruitful attempts to go over the objections, almost like in an arm wrestling situation, trying to convince, okay, no, let me convince. And then when it becomes a battle of arguments, if we're trying to make the sale, it's tough for us to win, right? Because we're putting the potential buyer in an antagonistic situation. It's almost like nobody wants to feel stupid for focusing on the wrong thing, right? So we can't try to steer them from, oh, no, don't look at that, right? Don't fight over what's more important. Oh, you're focusing on this, but this is not what's important. Let me tell you what is important. This is what is important, and this is what my product delivers. People don't feel great when they're put in that position of not understanding what was really relevant, and now somebody else is telling them. We need to have more empathy for the other side and understanding their side. Say, okay, this is how you see it. You know what? We deliver that, and the way we deliver that, you see this feature here of our product or service? It addresses exactly that point. You see how? And the guys, oh, now I see. So you see, it's building cooperation. They need to come to the decision that they want to buy themselves, not because they caved to my stronger argumentation. So if you want to help clients see the true value that your business provides, and you want to do it in a way that's permanent, that your client will always keep coming back to you, is going to refer you to other people because it's so great to deal with you, and so on and so forth, come on board our platform, Your Business in Canada, link here in the description, and we're going to guide you through the process, and you're going to have company. Good luck.